Hey guys, it's time to make my official 2020 NFL playoff picks. Let's go. So in our first game, we got the Texans taking on the Bills. Folks, Buffalo has the better overall roster. They have the better running game. They have the better offensive line. They have the better overall defense. But I gotta go with Deshaun Watson. Before the draft, I was a big Deshaun Watson fan. I said Cleveland should take him with the number 1 overall pick. Chicago butchered that draft by taking Mitchell Trubisky over him and Patrick Mahomes. Look, the Texans have a jumbled, mumbo-jumbo roster, but I trust Deshaun and DeAndre at home. J.J. Watt's coming back on the defensive side of the ball, so their red zone defense should improve. Give me the Texans. Next up, we got a game between the Tennessee Titans and the New England Patriots. I know what you're thinking, guys. Well, the Patriots dynasty is over. They lost to Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Miami Dolphins. Look, folks, I was definitely disappointed in that loss. But didn't you guys say the same thing last year? You said, oh, well, the Chargers are just going to go into Gillette because they have Phillip Rivers. They have an elite running game, great receivers on the outside, and a hellacious defense. They're going to end the Patriots dynasty. And what did the Patriots do? They beat the brakes off the LA Chargers. I can't bet against them, especially at home. Tom Brady will not throw a pick six. I believe this defense will bounce back. I guarantee you they won't allow 27 points to Ryan Tannehill. Although Tennessee can run the football effectively, I think this game will ultimately come down to Ryan Tannehill. Can he be the guy to get Tennessee over the top? I still have my doubts. He has balled out up to this point, but I'm not sure if he could do that in a big playoff game. Give me the Patriots. In the NFC side, we got a battle between the New Orleans Saints and the Minnesota Vikings. Look, folks, I'm done with Kirk Cousins. I've been done with him forever. I've wanted him to be my kinfolk, my first cousin so many times, and he just hasn't delivered the goods. I'm over it. On Monday Night Football 2 weeks ago, he had a chance to potentially win the NFC North, to potentially contend for the division, and he let me down. That's why I didn't pick Minnesota. I told y'all, I can't trust this man. On the other side, I picked the Saints before the year to win the NFC and to advance to Super Bowl 54. Sean Payton has done a phenomenal job with this football team. When Drew Brees was out, he handled the load with Teddy Bridgewater. This team was able to survive. They have phenomenal playmakers. Alvin Kamara finally has that pep in his step. Michael Thomas, his Instagram name says it all. Can't guard Mike. They have Jared Cook on the outside, and they have splashy Taysom Hill. This man is special. So I think the Saints in the Superdome prevail and beat the Minnesota Vikings. Finally, the last game on Wild Card Weekend. We got the Seahawks taking down the Philadelphia Eagles. I gotta go with Seattle in this game. Look, folks, I like Carson Wentz a lot. I think he's an elite quarterback. In his second year, he was in the MVP discussion with Tom Brady. This year, when the Eagles were 5-7, everyone said, throw this team in the trash. Carson Wentz, you can make a case that he has had the best month of his entire career as an NFL quarterback. He beat the Giants. He was down 17-3 at the end of the first half. Eagles Nation is booing him. And he comes back and he walks the division to the New York Giants. Against Washington, at Washington, he pulls off a last-second touchdown drive. Against Dallas, he put foots in them. He took the NFC East title away from them. I believe in this kid, but the Philly roster is decimated. I know they're at home. I think they can keep this game close. But in Russ, I trust. I think Seattle last week against San Francisco was able to find an identity. Although they lost Chris Carson and Rashad Penny, I think beast mode gives them an emotional lift that they really need. And I think situationally, I trust Pete Carroll more, and I trust Russell Wilson more. Seattle actually has a winning record on the road this year. They've been bad at home. Give me Seattle in Philadelphia. Let's shift now to the divisional round. We got the 49ers taking on the Seattle Seahawks. I got to go with the 49ers. Jimmy G, although he hasn't had a phenomenal season, he's had a pretty good year. And he has some big-time weapons. They have an elite running game. They have 3 backs, Matt Breida, Tevin Coleman, Raheem Mostert. Not only that, but they have an elite tight end in George Kittle, along with 3 phenomenal receivers, Emmanuel Sanders. The Patriots could have traded for him over Mohamed Sanu. Deebo Samuel, this kid is an absolute beast. And Kendrick Bourne, you know what he is. He's born to score, baby. This offensive line has done a phenomenal job protecting Jimmy G all year. This defensive front, led by the number 2 overall pick, Nick Bosa, is ready to feast. And Richard Sherman in the back end is going to be talking it up. I think Seattle can keep this game close considering the fact that it is a divisional rivalry. These games typically go down to the wire. But San Francisco has a more talented, more well-balanced football team along with a better head coach. Give me San Francisco. On the AFC side, we would then have the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Houston Texans. Folks, Baltimore's going to win this game. I only picked the Texans to beat the Bills because of Deshaun Watson and because of DeAndre Hopkins, but they won't beat the Ravens in Baltimore considering the shellacking that Baltimore did in Week 11 against this very same Houston Texans team. They have the head coaching edge. Although I love Deshaun, Lamar is the league MVP. I think Lamar has another big-time game. I don't expect Lamar to have a doozy the way how he had last year against the LA Chargers, where it looked like the kid couldn't throw a pass to save his life. I expect Lamar to play well, and that secondary in Baltimore is legit. Give me the Ravens. The other matchup in the AFC is a battle between the Kansas City Chiefs and the New England Patriots. This is a matchup that I've wanted for weeks on end. I want my revenge against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Patriots flat out outplayed the Chiefs in Week 14. They deserve to beat Kansas City. The NFL robbed the Patriots. I could show you not just one way, but 3 ways. Did they miss a N'Keal Harry touchdown? Yes, they did. Did they miss a Stephon Gilmore fumble recovery? Yes, they did. Oh, did they miss a Philip Dorsett pass interference with 3 minutes to go in that ball game? Yes, they did. The Patriots flat out outplayed the Chiefs. I'm expecting Tom Brady to do what he did last year. He kicked Patrick Mahomes out of his own house last year. Patrick Mahomes wet the bed in the first half. Look, folks, I'm not saying that Patrick Mahomes isn't an elite quarterback. I'm not saying he isn't special. But last year, in his 6 biggest games, he was 1-5. This season, at home against the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday Night Football, he didn't play very well. Against the Houston Texans, Deshaun Watson completely outplayed him. He's had some bad games. And I think Bill Belichick in the second half will lock in, lock up. I think the Chiefs could lose this game, considering the fact that New England outplayed them in Week 14. Andy Reid, in his biggest moments, has somewhat faded. He hasn't won a Super Bowl yet. There's a reason for that. He's a great coach, don't get me wrong. But are you really going to bet on him over Bill Belichick? are you really going to bet against Tom Brady? I can't do it. Give me the Patriots. And finally, in the divisional round, we got the Green Bay Packers taking on the New Orleans Saints. The Packers this year are 13-3. Matt LaFleur has exceeded everyone's expectations. This Packers defense looks revamped and improved. They have a running back in Aaron Jones. But folks, I gotta go with New Orleans. You can make a case for Aaron Rodgers over Drew Brees. I personally would take Drew Brees, and I would definitely take Sean Payton over Matt LaFleur. I think Matt LaFleur is still adjusting. I'm not saying that Matt LaFleur can't coach, but in a big playoff spot, are you really going to take Matt LaFleur over Sean Payton? Are you going to take Aaron Rodgers over Drew Brees? The Packers barely beat the Lions this week. The Saints obliterated the Panthers. I expect them to hand Green Bay an L in Lambeau. It's happened before. Aaron Rodgers has lost to the Giants in Lambeau Field. He's lost to the 49ers in Lambeau Field. He hasn't necessarily been great at home in the playoffs. I think the Saints come in there, and I think Aaron Rodgers after this game is going to say, my house is on fire. That will take us to championship weekend. We have the Ravens taking on the Patriots, AFC on the line. Look, Baltimore has had a sensational season. I'm not taking anything away from Lamar. But I can't bet against Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. I just can't do it. Just can't do it. When I got that guy, when I got both those guys, that's all I need. I believe in N'Keal Harry. In that week 9 matchup, they didn't have N'Keal Harry. I believe Sony Michel can bust out of his shell. I expect him to turn back into the running back he was in last year's playoffs. And even if he's not, at least I think we could get something out of him where defenses are going to be honest. They're going to have to respect the run. That will allow TB12 to come up with another legendary AFC championship game. And I think the Patriots barely beat the Ravens, but I'm expecting some big plays out of N'Keal Harry, Sony Michel in the running game. I can't bet against that guy. And Bill Belichick will have something planned for Lamar Jackson the second time around. I guarantee you, Lamar and the Ravens offense will not score 37 points on this defense. So give me the Patriots over the Ravens. I still can't bet against them because they're in the Super Bowl basically every single year. In the NFC Championship game, we got a good matchup. The 49ers Saints Week 14 matchup went right down to the wire. The 49ers won on the last second field goal, but I truly feel a play here, play there. Maybe New Orleans wins that game. If New Orleans won that game, they would have the number 1 overall seed. I like Jimmy G a lot, but most analysts have looked at him as the weak link of this team. I trust Drew Brees at home. I picked the Saints before the year to win the NFC. I'm sticking with it. I don't want to go back and make another Super Bowl prediction. I'm sticking with the Patriots in the AFC. I'm sticking with the Saints in the NFC. They're going to duke it out in Super Bowl 54. I know what you're saying, folks. Well, New England has the least talented team out of anyone in the playoffs. But they have 2 GOATs. And I think they will use this external motivation. You want to say we suck? You want to say we stink? Okay, we'll show you. You want to say we can't win any games? It will be fun. I guarantee you, New England will play hard. They will play tough. I'm not ready to say that this dynasty is over because the haters have been saying that for the last 3 years, and all I see them do is stack up them Lombardis. So I'm sticking with that pick. I got the Saints losing to the Patriots in Super Bowl 54. I believe we'll have an epic Super Bowl, but in the end, Tom Brady is going to outplay Drew Brees in the biggest moment. Give me the Patriots. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe.